Alright, hello everyone. Hello. I really should do this before I film, but, and I always kind of do, but then when I do start filming, I'm like, wait a second. No, that ain't it. So that's, ooh, that is crooked. Could you imagine? Could you imagine if I did that to y'all? That's good. But if you guys saw the legs of my tripod right now, you guys would be like, oh girl, that ain't sturdy. You know what I mean? That's okay. You guys would never have known if I hadn't said anything. That's kind of good. That's kind of good. Is it? See, I don't like when my head's cut off. But, this is kind of alright. Literally, what if I did this for 10 minutes? That actually would be kind of iconic. I kind of would love that if it was a, if I put it on here as like a performance art piece. Just like, and then it just like ends abruptly. It's kind of an idea. I kind of like it. My cat is crying. One moment. I'm back. My cat is one of those cats who are more affectionate than my dog. So, and he's also like one of those cats who like, well, he loves to cuddle after he eats, but he eats often. Like, he's one of those cats who eats like just a little bit every, like, I don't know, every hour. And, or every few hours actually, but. So it's like, I can't like stop what I'm doing and cuddle with you for like that often. Because sometimes I gotta do what I've gotta do. Or at least what I want to do. I don't know. I love him, and I do cuddle with him obviously like a lot. He's my cat, but it's like, Frady, I can't cuddle with you 24 hours a day, but I know that's what he would want. You know, some cats like to be left alone. Like, truly, we could like feed him, cuddle with him, play with him, feed him, and like just a circle of that, and he would love it. He would love it. I wish you guys could have heard that, because somebody in the parking lot next door was literally like coughing like hacking. You ever hear people do that and you're just like, are you okay? Like, are you not feeling good? Anyway, I'm gonna really try to knock it in my head today. I filmed a video for like 10 minutes before this. Oh, did I not mention I also still have my pimple, and that's making me feel just like uncomfortable, because like I'm 25 and I never get acne, okay? Like, this ain't me, okay? This does not define me. My chacne does not define me. The word is so funny to me. Okay. I think it's because I always, like, my instinct is to, like, I'm always just, like, you guys see it all the time. And, I don't need to go into detail about how my pimple was formed, okay? Okay? Let's just, it was hot and me, okay? That's all I'll say. But anyway, other than that, I'm just really in my head today. I think I just really had a rough night, and just really sad and just upset, and I'm really like, today's a new day, you know what I mean? Today is a new day. Pick up the camera, film a video, and it is a new day. I've been calling these, I was gonna say that I filmed a video and it just didn't pan out. Like, it was just, bleh, so I scrapped it. And, but I'm back. But I've been calling these, Thoughts of Moss podcasts, like, in quotes, podcast in quotes, because it's like, podcast, even though it's not scheduled regularly. And I'm just, I guess it kind of is a podcast even without quotations, because like, what is a podcast? You just talk. But it's on no podcasting apps. It's just on YouTube. So, and it's a conversation. It's kind of. It's, I mean, conversation of one. But yeah, I just thought that was like a little, it's my little podcast. It's my Thoughts of Moss podcast, because I'm like thinking, you get it. I don't need to explain. But I'm just also really in my head today, so I don't know how great my content will be. I hate that word. I hate the word content. I do. I don't know what else to call it, because it is. But I don't like that word. I think it's so overused. And it means nothing. It's one of those like words that means almost nothing. You know? Anywho, I've been in my head, and I was really having a rough night, and today is a new day, and so I'm picking my head up. And, yeah, I don't want to think too much about what has been bringing me down, because it's just not worth thinking about that right now, really. I did want to talk about something that like kind of spiraled that, but not really. Like, I don't know, it was a little sad, but it also has some positives about it, and I want to talk about the positives. So last night I was like, you know what, I haven't looked at my old YouTube channel in forever. Like, I don't even remember the last time I looked at it. I don't even remember. I vaguely remember what was on there, but I really don't. And I'm sure almost none of you, no one watching this knows this, but I used to have a YouTube channel when I was, I think, from the ages of 16 to 19, and maybe I filmed a few videos when I was 20, but I think I might have deleted them. Maybe, but I don't even remember what they would have been. But I had a YouTube channel, and I loved it. I filmed on there quite frequently. I didn't have like a ton of subscribers, and I wasn't like a daily uploader or anything, even though I wanted to be so bad. But it was fun, and it was a great outlet for me. I was able to talk about things that made me passionate, and I had a lot of fun with it. It gave me such a good creative outlet, and I was always thinking about how to create things in my free time, and I loved that. I loved it so much. And it was great. And yeah, and I did kind of grow up in a way on YouTube, and so it was one of my biggest goals to be a YouTuber. Sounds cringy now because everybody wants to be one, apparently. I don't know, I always hear people want to be one, like kids and stuff. But I wanted to be a YouTuber even before I started my channel, long before I started my channel, because I kind of, in a way, grew up on YouTube. Like, I don't know. Most of my childhood, I didn't have a computer at our house, but I did have one at my grandma's, and that's always what we did there. And I don't know, I grew up on YouTube, kind of, and I mean OG, like old school YouTube. Like, I was big on YouTube, like more frequent on YouTube once we got a computer, which I think was around the time when like O2L was a thing, if y'all remember that, all y'all girlies that are my age. O2L was this collab channel full of like cute guys, even though I was not attracted to any of them, because I have a weird type. Okay. But it was just like this channel, and they would just like do tags, and it was just like, I don't know, it was like fun for people my own age group. And also like all of the British YouTubers and like Joey Graceffa were really big back then. And they were all daily vlogging, and like, and it was really like cute, you know, it was a cute time on YouTube, and they would all like cross collab, and we all got this like false sense that they were all friends when they really weren't. It was really kind of funny looking back on it. But, and I was on YouTube even before that was a big thing. Like, that's when I really started getting, like, involved. Like, oh, this is, like, I don't know. Like, I felt like I was more involved in the community back then. But I was watching YouTube even before that. I think my first YouTube channel that I ever found and liked, oh, I always get the name, I think I get their name wrong, but I think it's called I Like Whaley. She changed her name now to just her normal name, but her channel name used to be I Like Whaley. And it was like beauty stuff, and I'm not interested in beauty stuff, but her personality was just so fun to me. And that's, I think, when I really, I remember finding her videos on my phone, and I was like, wait, YouTube is more than just like YouTube has like a lot of people on there. My only experience prior to that was like growing up, I had fake friends who liked Shane Dawson. They like wanted to be Shane Dawson, let's just say that. Okay, they were like, which was problematic. It was so problematic, and they were bullies to me, but whatever. They were frenemies to me. But that was that, you know? Like, that was my experience with it prior to that. Like, and I was always like, okay, like, I don't find this funny. Like, I don't really get what YouTube really is. And then I found her channel, and then I started being like, wait, YouTube's kind of cool. Wait, there's like stuff on here. Yeah. And so I kind of slowly but surely started watching YouTube, and it became like this whole community. And it wasn't that big yet. Like, I remember people getting 1 million subscribers was like, wow, that person is massive. Like, that's, I can't even fathom that. And now, I mean, what is 1 million, you know? So, but yeah, like, I kind of in a way grew up on YouTube. Like, we didn't really have technology in our house, not like a ton. But in a way I did. And I wanted to be a YouTuber even back then, because I was like, wow, that looks so fun. You're creating videos. You could vlog every day. Back then, vlogging was a thing. Now I'm like, absolutely not. Absolutely not. But, I mean, back then, people were vlogging, and people were doing creative videos. Like, I mean, people started doing, like, sketch videos and comedy videos, and it was so fun. And I started doing it too, a couple years after, and it was a lot of fun for me. So last night I was like, let me go on there and see what I was about, because it had been a long time since I'd seen those videos, and I didn't want it to make me sad. I knew it could, absolutely, but I also knew that it couldn't bring me a lot of peace about who I am today. And I think in a big way that's true, a huge way that's true. Both are true, because last night I also was spiraling and just really sad, but both are true. And I want to talk about a little bit about both, but mostly about the positives with everyone. So, did I mention the ages that I was when I did YouTube? I think I was 16 to, yeah, I think I did. 16 to 19, maybe 20. But when I watched the first video that I watched of mine, I think it was like the newest. All of them were privated, by the way, because I went through, I mean, when I was in toxic mold for 4 years, I just shut everything down and I quit, because it's like, I genuinely, no, I did make videos when I was 20, because now this came back to me. I remember when I was 20 is when I was just starting to be, like, we just started to be affected by mold toxicity. And I remember trying to film videos, and it was like so disassociative. I was so out of my body that when I would try to film, I sometimes wouldn't, like, I always explained it to people like I can't hear myself, but it really wasn't an audio thing, but it was like I wasn't registering what I was saying. And also there was so much going on in my head that it was like la, 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 like I don't know how to explain that, like just so like clouds and like noise and like up there. Okay. Does that make sense? And then I would just be trying to form sentences out, and sometimes I would play back and I'm like, girl, like, are you like, do you have like an accent? Like, what is that? You don't even sound like you. Not like I was like, not like I like came out British or like something weird, but it was like my voice wasn't me anymore. And I might have a few of those videos up there, maybe, but I definitely deleted a lot of those because I was like, that is eerie. Like, I can't even watch that. I can't even do videos anymore. And then by the time I was 21, it was like, I was so brain dead, I couldn't even film a video. Like, I couldn't even fathom pressing record and forming a thought, because half the time I was sobbing uncontrollably, or I was like, no thoughts. Huh? Like, so dead up there. But so that was it. And when I was in Toxic Mold for those 4 years, I thought about making YouTube videos all the time. All the time. And I've always known that I would come back to YouTube because it's so, I love it so much. I love the creative medium of a video. You know, I know we hear so much of the time YouTubers saying, or people saying on here, like, you don't know somebody by a 16-minute video that they post online. You don't know somebody by their vlogs. You only see the positive of their day, which is all very true, but you also get a very good showcase of who they are as a person. That's what they want to display to the world, you know, is in that 16-minute video, is in that vlog, in a sense. Sorry, my nose is a little stuffed, but that's that, you know, like, and I think it's so beautiful that you can create anything from it. You can create anything from a video. You have the freedom to make anything. Like a vlog, you can make something that nobody's ever seen before. You can break the fourth wall. You can do pretty much anything with this. And I think that's so cool. And just showing a piece of your personality. Some people might really bond with your personality, and there you go. You've got a video, and people, you have a connect with people via that. That's so cool to me. You can connect with people who have similar interests to you, you know, just by putting out a video. I've always thought that was so fascinating and so amazing and beautiful. So throughout my Toxic Mold years, my 4 years in there, I was thinking about YouTube a lot. And like, oh, I always knew that I would come back to YouTube one day. Always. Because it's like, I mean, I love it. I really do. And I just think there's just something really cool about that, you know? But I looked back on a video, and the first video that I had seen, it was very jarring. Like, and more jarring than I expected. I really thought like, oh, like, yes, but I've seen these videos before. You know what I mean? Like, years and years and years ago, yes, but I've seen them nonetheless. Like, I know vaguely about what I looked like, right? And about how I sounded and about everything. And it was oddly jarring. Like, I was taken aback. Truly. I just, it was a lot more shocking than I knew it would be, than I ever expected it to be. Because well, first off, I looked so different. So different. And I saw myself in a way, because the thing is in this video, it was like the very beginning stages of mold. And also I remember what was going on in my life during that year. And And I remember how depressed I was. I was deeply depressed even before the mold. I was deeply depressed. I had issues within my family. And it just a messy breakup and just heartache. And I had just moved into this new house, or it wasn't a new house, but I just moved into this house. It was new to us. And so there was hope. But it was interesting. And the video, you know, it was just really wild because I also didn't really remember what I said in the video. And I was so fogged during that time of filming that video that I didn't even really make a whole lot of sense. Like I did, but like when I was younger making videos, I would always have like a clear vision of what I wanted to say in my head and I could execute that clearly. And as the mold started and as the depression started, and I'm still experiencing the effects of this today, where my mind can't really fully think of what I'm trying to say before I say it. Sometimes I kind of can. It's like a very vague concept. And then I say it. But, I mean, I used to really be able to be like, this is how I want to come across. This is how I'm going to speak. This is how I'm going to... I mean, and I was a kid, so it's not like I was perfect. But, like, I used to at least have that kind of idea and that concept. And at that point in the video that I watched, I was like, oh, I already... could tell that I just jumped into this video and I had no idea how to execute this concept, and I was not really being coherent on my thoughts on it, and the jokes didn't land. It was kind of like a joking video, and it was just really sad to see that. And how I was in my empty bedroom that remained. Like, it's so funny because I looked back and I was like, wow, like, my room was empty. I had a box and a bed, and a cardboard box and a bed, and I'd hung up some of my clothes in my closet. And it's funny because at that moment of filming that video, I had so much hope for my future, and I had no clue that I was going to be struck with such bad mold, and I had no idea that my room was going to remain that way for the entirety of the 4 years that we lived there. One moment. And so that was like a little sad. And even watching me, I mean, I looked so different, so incredibly different than how I look now. It was more than 100 pounds ago. And I say that as though like I've just gained all this weight, but it's not the case. I don't know if any of you guys know my story, but I'll explain a little bit of it here. The toxic mold quite literally put 100 pounds on both my mom and I. And quickly. It was like we were frequently going to the doctor's office about a year into toxic mold, and we were, or maybe it was definitely less than a year. I think it was like right away, actually. Never mind. I don't know why. I don't know what I was thinking there. And we kept going to the doctors, and every single time we would go into the doctors, we were making appointments because my doctor was like, what is going on with you guys? Like, you got all these health issues. Like, let's investigate this. And every single time we went in, we gained 15, 20 pounds. Now that was like every 2 weeks, a month even. And that's fast. And even my doctor, it was kind of wild. She specifically said that the only way for you to be gaining as much weight as you are, as quickly as you are, would be if you ate Burger King for every single meal. And, you know, we were vegan and vegetarian eating, and also we later on documented how much we were eating a day, because, I mean, we thought we were eating enough. And we were eating less than 1,000 calories. So hard to imagine, hard to fathom for a lot of people, and I ended up gaining 100 pounds, and I have not gained a single ounce over that. It's been consistently 100 pounds. And there's been so many times where I've been like, okay, let's see if this weight will come off. Let me work out. I did keto for 5 months, strict keto, not like, ooh, let me go get this. It says keto on the box. No, like strict keto, like no sugar, no carbs. And I've tried my very best, and it's just been interesting because not a single pound, not a single little bit will come off. And that's not to say that like I'm learning to just accept this for right now, because there will be a time where this will come off, because it is unnatural and it is unsustainable. I'm still actively today not eating enough to sustain the weight that I am. Still. I mean, there's so many days where I don't eat enough calories, not intentionally, and I'm still not, and it's just, and I also have tried not to stress my body out and eat exactly the amount of calories, exactly the amount for a long stretch, exactly the amount of calories that I need in a healthy way. And nothing has helped. And it's not to say that I am inviting diet advice right now, because I'm not. But it's fascinating how that is. And so, I think it's my body. I've been told this by a number of different people, that it's most likely my body holding on to the stress. And once I'm able to let go of that, it'll come off. And I'm not in a huge rush. It's just, it is what it is. But it was jarring, nonetheless, to say that. I say all that to say that it was jarring to see myself more than 100 pounds ago. And think about how I thought of myself back then, and how I viewed myself, how I viewed my situation, how I viewed life. And it's the positives that I gained from it. Because I was very jarred. It was very shocking. I was, for maybe the first time in my life, watching myself as a different person. I kept trying to connect that was me while I was watching it. And this was just the first video that I watched. But I was trying to really connect, like, that is me. That is, that's obviously a different version of me. That was a younger me, but that was me. And that was blowing my mind. Like, I was having a hard time wrapping my brain around that at first. And a big part of that is because of how I looked at myself back then, and how I carried that with me to this day. I mean, when I looked at that video of myself, I was like, wow, like, this is not for me to brag, okay? I hope everybody knows that I'm not saying this to brag about myself. But I was watching the video of myself, and I was like, wow, I was gorgeous. I mean, it's not like when I say that, I'm not like, oh, I'm a model, okay? I'm not like, oh my gosh, I was this stunning model. I could have had every man in the world. I could have been queen of the world. It's not like that. You know what I mean? It's like, wow, like, I don't know why, but I've forever carried within me that, like from the time making that video till now, I've had it in my head that, oh, I was kind of, yeah, I mean, like, I was like, quirky, and kind of like an acquired taste, especially with my I mean, people have made fun of me for these things for so long, because because of how I looked, and I think I've always carried those things with me, and I just assumed that they were true about me to such a high degree. So looking at myself and having that detachment was shocking. People have made fun of me for my eyebrows, because I have eyebrows, actually. I know it's kind of hard to tell on camera, but like I have eyebrows. They're just such a they're like a shade of blonde that's like skin color, truly. And nope, they're there, and in fact they're kind of fuzzy, so I've never once plucked my eyebrows because it's like girly, like nobody can even see them. Like, and my teeth. Yeah, I mean my teeth, come on. And my weight. And even though I was underweight in most of the videos that I saw, I still sorry, I have my throat tickles a little. Anyway. But it was interesting because I remembered myself differently than how I was. I thought of myself like, oh, I'm an acquired taste. I'm a little quirky. I guess, you know, I guess I better lean into that because that's how everybody's always going to see me. And I, you know, I used to be so ashamed of my smile, my teeth. And even till just now, I try not to show my teeth very much. In all my pictures, and it's like looking at my video, I'm like, wow, like, no, my teeth added so much charm to me. And like, I don't know. And lately I've been really kind of pondering and thinking about that song that's been going around on TikTok that, like, if I were a fish and I caught me, I'd say, look at that fish shimmering in the sun. How does it go? It's a rare one, can't believe that I got one. And I'm like, that needs to stick in my head. That needs to stick in my head. And it's just funny how I've been thinking about these things. Like, that needs to stick in my head. That needs to stick in my head. And also this quote that people have been saying, that I've been seeing about when you put out content, when you put out things you need, and when you write poetry, when you think of a song in your head, when you're singing, whenever you are creating, we need to pretend and act as though it is the most important thing. That has been sticking with in my head too. You know what I mean? And even though I've been feeling very insecure, and I think I mentioned that in the beginning of this video, like, I've also had that stuck in my head and kind of replaying it as like a thought. Like, think about this, Lydia. Think about this. And then seeing those videos, or all those videos, but really that first video jarred me so much that it made me think about all this stuff. Like, even my eyebrows, like, I'm a rare one. You know what I mean? Like, I know that sounds so corny, but I think every single person out there needs to start thinking about this, about themselves. And like, I can't even believe that I lived my life this long not thinking that about myself. I'm a rare one. I can't believe, like, I feel like everybody should think that about everybody. Like, and about ourselves. Like, if I were a fish and I caught me, I'd say, look at that fish shimmering in the sun. What a rare one. Can't believe that I caught one. I know that's so silly to be singing that, but like, and to be like rehearsing that in your head. But seriously, I'm a rare one, okay? How many people do you know out there with skin-colored eyebrows and kind of funky looking teeth? Nobody has my teeth. Nobody. And you know what's funny? Because I've I've always wanted to be that person who could say that about myself. Because I couldn't afford braces growing up, okay? Braces were like $4,000, $8,000, I don't know the price, but they were always like in the thousands. We couldn't afford that. Like, we were living paycheck to paycheck my entire childhood. And, you know, despite living in like a nice house and stuff, that was literally all we had. It was like, ooh, okay, we got the nice house. The car keeps breaking down. Things are not great. You know what I mean? We can eat sometimes. You know, it's like, whatever. And my braces, like, I couldn't get braces, and that's just how it was. And, you know, my mom was a single mom, like, and that's okay. But, like, it just, I'm just so glad that I'm finally getting to the point in my life where I'm like, my teeth are the only teeth that anybody, like, I have unique teeth. I have a unique smile. My teeth shape and the way that they are, nobody else has them. Nobody else has my teeth. Nobody else has my smile. Nobody else has these eyebrows, okay? And I'm a rare one, okay? And everybody around me should be saying, I can't believe that I caught one. And everybody should be saying that about you too. You know? And it's like, oh, like, to get to that place in your head is so freeing. I'm not quite there yet. I'm saying these things. And I'm just going to continue saying them until they stick with me. Because they've got to. I looked at that video of myself and I just could not believe that I had ever thought these things about myself. Like, I was this, like, young 20, like, 19, 20-year-old, and it's like, and I had endeavors, like, I was passionate on YouTube, and I was silly and quirky, and, like, maybe everyone's an acquired taste to somebody, you know what I mean? And if you're not an acquired taste, if you're not, and if you're trying actively not to be an acquired taste, like, that ain't good. Like, don't you want to be a rare one? I do. And I hope that all the people who enter my life, like, if I start walking that way, and I start walking that way in life, and I start believing that about me now, because the thing is I know this to be true. I know this to be true, okay? The mindsets that I had back then, I'm now able to look at and go, those weren't true. Those weren't true. So why am I thinking that for some reason the negative self-talk that I'm thinking today is true? Like, oh, well, the negative self-talk that I thought back then, that I thought was true back then, that wasn't true. But the negative self-talk that I'm telling myself today, well, that's got to be true. Why? Make it make sense, girl. Make it make sense. Because I don't get why our minds are so effed up like that. Like, it doesn't make sense. And so that means that today, all my flaws today, even though I'm 100 pounds heavier than I was then, even though I've got a little pimple on my chin, even though I've still got these, you know, eyebrows that look nearly invisible, and these teeth that aren't bright, they're kind of dull, and they're misshapen. Truly, like, those things, I can still understand that the negative self-talk that I have about those things today is false as well. And I can choose to believe that. Even if I don't believe that, I can actively choose to tell myself that that's the truth. That all those negative self-talks are a lie. And maybe if I start walking every day, presenting myself like I am, maybe if we all do, maybe if we all present ourselves like, I am a rare one. Can you believe that you caught me? If we start walking like that in every way, in everywhere that we go with that level of confidence, then maybe we will attract people who genuinely think that. Maybe we will find people who, you know, friends, relationships, business partners, who are like, wow, you're a rare one. Like, I can't even believe that I found you. And wouldn't that be a blessing? Wouldn't that be so beautiful to be surrounded by people who believe that? Be surrounded by people who think that. And anybody who doesn't think that of you, well, goodbye. Like, because everybody in my circle believes that. You're going to be the odd one out. You know? Oh. I'm hype, man. I'm hype for life. Doesn't that make you hype for life? I love that so much. And I just can't even believe, it's so funny looking back at that person who I was and being like, wow, there were a lot of people. There were a lot of liars in my life. There were a lot of liars in my life because there were so many people out there. A lot of people who would say very ugly things to me, to that person who I'm able to look at just so like unattached right now and think, wow, what a beautiful young girl. Maybe I was 18 back then. No, maybe I was 19 in that video. Or 20. But either way, like, I just... I don't know. I'm going to implement that now. I'm going to implement that. And I'm putting that out there that I am. I'm implementing that. That is who I am now. That is the kind of energy that I am bringing into my life. That's the kind of person that I am now. Because even though I can look at myself now and think like, oh, like I'm 100 pounds heavier than I was then. And I can point out all my other flaws that I have now. I can also realize that if that person was a liar, this person is. You know what I mean? If all of those things were false, then this is. I can tell myself that. I'm allowed. And I'm going to. And you should too. I think everybody needs to do that. It is like... it's life-changing. It can be life-changing. If we all were able to like walk through life thinking that about ourselves, it would be life-changing. And even thinking that about our family members. You know? Or our friends, or the person that we're in a relationship with. Like, wow, they're such a rare one. I cannot believe that I caught them. Shimmering in the sun. Not even just being in the presence of such a rarity. Wow, what a gem. And it was just interesting watching the rest of I didn't watch all of them, but I watched a lot of my old videos. It's like kind of interesting because I don't think that anybody can really, I mean, I don't know, maybe this is completely unhealthy as well, but I don't think we can naturally, like, I guess, disassociate from ourselves truly to such a degree that we're like, oh, that's not me. I mean, maybe, I mean, I think a lot of people can, but it's definitely not healthy, right? And so I don't recommend it, but maybe just use what I went through to just remind yourself that that's the case. It's also funny because I have looked at pictures of myself while I was like gaining a little bit of weight. Before I've looked at them, and it's just so funny how my head would think about things. I really thought, I mean, there was even moments where I was not actively gaining weight, where I was like ideal weight or even underweight, and there's been photos of me that we've taken that I've been like, ooh, I don't really want to post that because I am afraid that, and my friends have given me no inclination that they would think this of me, my past friends, but I would always think in my head like, ooh, I really don't want to post that photo because I don't want them to like realize that I'm the fat friend suddenly. Like, ooh, like, oh, she's actually like heavier than I thought. You know? And it's just kind of sad that I thought that. You know? Or like anytime I didn't look like a stick figure, a rail, an actual rail, I'd be like, eee. Like, I do not like that at all. But it's never too late to like learn how to be different, how to change, how to grow, how to be a better person, even to yourself. Because I never want to think that about myself anymore. I just can't even believe that I thought that about myself. Not that I think we should go walking around being like, wow, I am like so hot. Like, look at, like, literally, who wouldn't want to be with me? Duh. Like, yeah, it's like, not that I think we should all be so confident that we're rude, you know, or that we're obsessed with ourselves, you know, because that's so unhealthy as well. But to be like, yeah, who wouldn't want to hang out with me? Yeah, like this pointless video right now that's almost 50 minutes long, like, yes, this is important. And pretending like every single thing that you make, no matter how silly, no matter how imperfect, that it is perfect. That it is so important. And that it's wonderful. And yeah, like just finding so much importance in what you're doing and who you are. Maybe these things are so basic to somebody, but let me tell you, when it really seeps into your soul, it is life-changing. You know? I think we should all be walking around like singing the fish song about ourselves, you know? Because we are rare ones. And like what we're doing right now, like this is just so important. And I know that that sounds so ridiculous to some people. Some people would watch this and go, oh my gosh, why would somebody ever post that to the internet? Like, what value is that adding to the world? And, you know, maybe in a broader sense, looking at every single thing that we do and finding it so beautiful. Because I mean, I've even looked at this channel so many times and just been kind of like, yeah, it's getting there. I mean, I don't know. It's kind of a dud. I mean, I love doing YouTube, so that's why I'm doing it, but it's kind of a dud. And it's like, no, like, I need to be very confident in my YouTube channel. Like, no, like, this is beautiful. I am putting out quality content right now. Quality. Okay? Because it's showcasing parts of my mind during this point in time. And isn't that so beautiful and so amazing? And like, even the poems that we write in our heads that are never going to see the light of day, those are valuable. And even the little songs that we sing throughout the day to like give us peace and sparks of joy, those are valuable. These are valuable. I think even showcasing real, unique human beings is valuable. Me showing my face, I mean, it's hard because I'm still just learning this, but hopefully I can get to that place where I'm like, no, me showing my authentic, my real face, yes, my pimple that's on my chin, these teeth, these eyebrows, like, showing me helps other people realize that it could help other people realize that it's okay to show them. And whatever you're doing, that could help somebody else boost their confidence in themselves. Realizing that they are rare and there's beauty in rarity. Thank you for tuning in to this Thoughts of Moss podcast. It's been truly a wonderful day. I think a lot of those thoughts I gathered while talking them out. And I'm so glad. I don't know that I have anything more to add to that. You're all rare ones. And, yeah. Alright, I guess that's it. So, have a good day, y'all. And, I hope you have been enjoying this podcast. Have a good day.